Welcome to another episode of Flavor Judge, the show where I, just for the fun of it, examine a magic card and determine whether or not it accurately represents the character or event it depicts. Wizards has recently released the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, a doozy of a set with so many flavor fails that I think I have no choice but to make a top 10 worst flavor fails of the set, culminating in what I believe may just be the biggest flavor fail of the year, by a long shot. With that all said and done, let's begin with number 10, the Trap!
Alright, no, stop right there, Lore Seeker.
What? Why?
Adventures in Forgotten Realm isn't perfect, but it doesn't contain some of the biggest flavor fails of the year. While I really did enjoy Strixhaven, it definitely had some cringeworthy cards.
Strixhaven, huh? Alright, fine. I mean, I only get to do one angry rant video a month, so sure, why not? Let's see what Strixhaven has to offer. Let's see here. Thinking back, I was never too happy with the set, but I also don't really remember any major standout flavor fail. What the fuck is that? Alright, let's talk about Pop Quiz. Let's pretend you're 17 years old. You step into the classroom, just barely beating the bell, and shuffle over to your desk. Everyone's chattering. Things are normal when suddenly you feel it. The air has shifted. Fear envelops the room. Everyone starts to notice the word Pop Quiz on the blackboard. The door to safety is shut. There is no turning back. The worst hour of your week has arrived. Now, that was a bit dramatic, but pop quizzes really can be a nightmare for some students. What does this have to do with magic, you ask? Well, Wizards of the Coast had the audacity to print this card, Pop Quiz, in the Strixhaven set, and I feel very strongly that this fucking thing right here is the biggest flavor fail Magic's had in some time. Let me explain myself. For many Magic the Gathering players, Magic cards are nothing more than game pieces. Their individual names and effects only noted insofar as how they affect the board state. For the Vorthos, however, Magic cards are more than that. They tell a story or illustrate how a character can be mechanically represented within the confines of the game. So, while a Spike takes a look at reassembling Skeleton and just sees an excellent recurring sacrifice target, a Vorthos sees and appreciates the idea of a skeleton so resilient that even death itself does not stop it from pulling back together. Beyond just the art and flavor text of a card, the abilities on that card can really go a long way to invoke the idea of what it's representing. Just take a look at, Charizard. Now, Charizard is a complicated mess of a card banned damn near everywhere, but it is one of my favorite cards from a flavor perspective. Taking the Arabian Nights, which told stories within a story, and turning that into a card that does exactly that by creating a Magic subgame is amazing, if, annoying to see cast. Despite its notorious status among players of the game, Charizard is memorable for its unique effect and is beloved by, well, me, for how flavorful it is. Now, a card doesn't have to hit its inspiration right on the nose every time to earn this kind of praise. Flavor wins are, after all, abundant in this game. But it does go to show you that when R&D really wants to, they're fully capable of creating a functioning game piece that represents what it's supposed to really well. In fact, it seems as though R&D had that in mind as far as Strixhaven was concerned. In his second Odds and Ends article for Strixhaven, Mark Rosewater talks about how a big part of design for the set was creating cards that resonated well with and properly represented the school tropes the set was drawing so heavily from. In fact, one of the tropes he explicitly calls out is, well, pop quizzes. So, we know that R&D is fully capable of making a card that flavorfully represents its subject matter, and they had every intention of doing so. Now, let's rewind a bit and take another look at Pop Quiz. I think I'm gonna vomit. Pop Quiz is an instant card that costs 2 generic mana and 1 blue mana. Its effect is draw a card and learn. That's it. Throw in some flavor text sorta kinda related to the subject matter and call it a day. You would think that Pop Quiz would do something along the lines of forcing an opponent to choose one of several options that benefits you in some way, such as drawing a card, forcing them to mill, etc. Or maybe it could be an effect like Fact or Fiction, where your opponent gives you an option. No, none of that is represented here. That would be far too clever. According to Wizards, a Pop Quiz is draw a card, then get a lesson or rummage. Learn a thing or learn a thing. I'm not sure what the initial intention of this was. Maybe the effect was way different back when the card was first envisioned, but the fact remains that this is a very, very poor representation of the subject matter. I'm not just going to give this card a flavor fail. In fact, I'm going to give it the golden egg of failure and call it the biggest flavor fail of the year. Now, what do you think? Is there a card you believe to be worse? Let me know in the comments section below. While you're there, feel free to like, share the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you like what I do and want to see me keep doing it, maybe you'd like to support me directly. A link to my Patreon will be in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.